My name is Evan, you're watching All Around Reptiles, and this is the new studio. Yo, what's going on, guys? Alright, we are back home, we have the animals.
I've become a playpen.
But we're not talking about the new studio today. Today, we're talking about Russian tortoises. Are you thinking about getting a tortoise? Well, don't get a sulcata tortoise because they're the third largest tortoise in the world. I would suggest a Russian tortoise.
Hi, sisters!
I'm gonna tell you 4 pros and cons before getting a Russian tortoise. Let's start out with some of the pros. Pro number 1. These tortoises do not get as big as a sulcata or even as big as a redfoot tortoise. They only get to about 5 to 8 inches for adults, which is very manageable in an environment where you can't keep them reliably outside all year round. Now, I got my Russian tortoise when I was just 6 years old. So I've had her for better part of 13 years, and she is one of my favorite animals. And because of their small size, she actually free roams my entire house. And she'll even come to the fridge and beg for food. Pro number 2 is their long lifespan. They can live up to 40 or even 50 years. So if you want a lifelong animal that will be with you through everything, Russian tortoise is the best bet. Now, all tortoises live a long time. That's just how it is. But Russian tortoises do not live nearly as long as, let's say, a sulcata tortoise, which are very readily available, but people don't want that massive tortoise that could live for close to 80 years. And even with their long lifespan, you won't be handing them down to your grandchildren. Pro number 3, Russian tortoises are incredibly hardy and they can adapt to a lot of different situations. That does not mean you can skimp on heating and lighting. They do need around an 100-degree basking temperature. They also need proper UVB. Now, if you don't have UVB, they can look like this, or even this, with a thing called metabolic bone disease, which can genuinely hurt every part of your animal with quality of life, lifespan, and their general well-being. Pro number 4. These animals can be incredibly friendly and curious. My male tortoise will chase me around the entire room and beg for either food or just attention. Sometimes he doesn't even want the food, he will just run past it, like in this video. Now, Shia, my female Russian tortoise that I've had for 13 years, she just wants food and you can kind of leave her alone. She doesn't really like to be touched, but she really loves food and she will go anywhere for food. Now, unfortunately, we have to talk about the cons. Con number 1. As I talked about in the pro for the long lifespan, they're also a long time commitment. If you are not willing to take care of this animal for 40 to 50 years, I don't think tortoises are your best bet in any shape of the imagination. As I talked about in pro number 1, I talked about lifespan being a pro. But unfortunately, for people who are not as invested into having lots of animals like myself and a lot of other reptile keepers, when they just want to be a normal hobbyist, 40 to 50 years can be a long time. So that's why con number 1 is a long lifespan. Con number 2, like most tortoises, Russian tortoises need a lot of specific lighting. Most likely this lighting is UVB, let alone the UVB light fixture. These bulbs have to be replaced 1 year because the UVB eventually runs out in the bulb. Unfortunately, these bulbs aren't cheap either. I spend around $40 each time I have to buy a new bulb. Another thing besides UVB, you also need to think about the actual heating. If you're keeping this animal indoors, usually your house stays around 72 to 75 degrees. These animals need a hot spot of around 90 to 100 degrees. So that's where heat bulbs come in. I like to use halogen bulbs because they are the most cost-effective in energy and they create a lot of heat in a very small package. Con number 3, like most tortoises, Russian tortoises are literal bulldozers. Even though they're small, they can damage a lot of different things around your house or the enclosure. I would suggest before getting your Russian tortoise, spend a lot of time on making your enclosure bulletproof. These animals like to dig, and they tend to dig in corners, and that creates a lot of strength for their arms to grab and pull apart things. Con number 4. Like most tortoises, unfortunately, these are not animals that you can just cuddle. Even though I can take my tortoise and give her a good old squeeze, she doesn't like it. These animals are generally a look at and observe rather than a cuddle and hold animal. If you want a more of a cuddly and holding animal, I would suggest bearded dragons or other types of lizards and even snakes. After going through these 4 cons and 4 pros, are Russian tortoises good for you? Well, I've had mine for 13 going on 14 years, so they're a pretty good fit for me, and I also have a second one. So if you're ready for 40 or 50 years of fun, then Russian tortoises are a great choice for you. Well, that is going to do it for this video of All in Reptiles. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you like the new studio, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button because there's going to be a lot more videos like this. So if you like these pro or cons or even potentially top 5, if you guys are interested, hit that like button and I will see you on the next video.